This is a very, very, very important live stream. The 8 p.m. show, Monday through Friday. We're here every Monday through Friday. But this specific live stream, we're doing a little mock draft for 2024 on top of doing news for week 16, on top of taking phone calls, on top of trying to get you to dominate the second round of your playoffs. But we're doing it all of it. And the link to this vote right now is in the description of the video. So I want to see this tallying up right now. Who's the 1.1? Start voting. We're going to go one at a time. Who's the 1.1? Who's the 1.2? Who's the 1.3? We might get through the top 10. And this will be by you, by way of the people. All while doing the news. All while taking phone calls. All while doing super chats, because that's how we roll. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the middle of a live mock draft where you, the people, decide who we're taking 1, 2, 3, all the way down to probably 10 overall. Vote right now. The link is in the description of the video. I'll even drop the link right here, right now. Let's see if I can grab this link. I'll drop the link right now in the live chat, and we'll pin the link as well. So the link's in the description of the video, and now the link will be right there. Let me go ahead and pull up the stream, and we'll pin that bad boy. So get your vote on. So far, Christian McCaffrey has 4 votes. We need to get the tally up. So hit that vote until we get to like 30 or 40 or 50 or 100 or whatever. We're certainly not going to stop, I think, voting. There, Kyren Williams getting a vote. You'll see I actually have more names on the list. I just, for the current moment, have it isolated. We'll go ahead and put it there. Tyreek Hill is now sitting there with 0 votes, which is shocking, because on IG, when I did this, just a little poll, he was very close to Christian McCaffrey. Not trying to sway the vote at all. I'm just very interested in what this turns out to be. Christian McCaffrey, the 1.1, he's got 8 votes so far. This is a live vote. You can vote. The link I'm going to pin in the live chat right this very second, and then we're going to get to the news while the votes tally. And then we'll keep swinging around. Let's see here. The link to the vote has been pinned. We'll swing around and do 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 all show, and we'll keep a tally right here. Currently, as you see it, this right here is the bundle of players I expect to be in the top 5. If we've got to add somebody, we've got to add somebody. Let's get to the news while you all vote. Link is in the live chat. And thank you for the super chats that are coming in already. Ron Navy dropping a $20 hauler. Ron Navy says, let's go playoffs. Ron, appreciate you. My boy dropping a 20 wad.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Standing ovation as well for being the first super chat of the show. So Ron Navy, appreciate you. 14 votes for CMC, 4 votes for Kyren, 4 votes for other, which is toppling Tyreek Hill, which is interesting. So that's interesting. Just Sherman dropping some super chats. I'll get to you in a second. Appreciate you. And your question is, look at the picture. Aiden O'Connell. I'll try and give it a look. Thank you, Just Sherman, for dropping the super chat. I'll actually just get these 2 out of the way. If you know Super Troopers, thank you, Just Sherman. We'll take a look at it and see what they've got for our boy Aiden O'Connell. Thank you, Ron Navy, again. All right, let's get to the news, and then we'll get to the vote and get to the top 10 overall players for 2023. Let's get to this one real quick. NFL Network's reporting that Ja'Marr Chase shoulder could miss not only week 16, we kind of knew he's out this week, but also miss week 17. Kind of tough for the Bengals, who are trying to figure their best way into a potential wild card seed. But that's going to probably, in my opinion, make it very, very near impossible for them to grab one of them, but you never know. And actually, while we're on the topic of that, let me see if I get CJ Stroud up in here and Nico Collins, because those 2 guys as well are in situations where their teams are trying to grab not only, in my opinion, the wild card spot, or one of the 3 wildcard spots, but the potential division win. But without Stroud, without Nico, I don't know that this is possible. This comes at the worst possible timing for a franchise that's been turning heads and making everybody. And DeMeco Ryans is such a good coach, players coach. And a lot of people doubted this team walking into 2023. Big Tank Dell believers here on the channel. We were big Pierce believers as well. That definitely fell flat, but Singletary's looking like a monster. If anybody's got Singletary, you run him out in week 16. He's been absolutely fantastic. They still could win this game. The crazy part is if they win this game in week 16, it'll be not only a miracle, but what an amazing story for CJ Stroud to come back in and try and potentially win the division still. And they play the Cleveland Browns. It's going to be a tall order. No one's saying the Browns get beat by the Houston Texans, but think about it for a moment. I know Joe Flacco's been playing really well, but both these teams have banged up their starting quarterbacks down, and both these teams are trying to do it with the might that they have left. And if anybody thinks the Cleveland Browns can't be toppled with Joe Flacco, who's been playing well, but can't be toppled, I think I've got a bridge to sell you. So maybe Houston at home is able to pull out this win and allow Stroud to be fully healthy. Nico Collins, who I expect to sit. If Stroud sits, I expect Nico to sit, but you never know. They could take the approach of, well, we need Nico. If we don't have Stroud, let's try and push him back. But my thinking is that without Stroud, maybe they don't want to injure Nico. I don't know. So Nico Collins is very, very questionable if he even remotely has a chance to play. We'll close these two out, but CJ Stroud is likely to miss week 16. Maybe that changes. A miracle could happen. Tyreek Hill will not practice on Wednesday, and this is old news. He didn't practice on Wednesday, but there is some thinking in circles that I very much trust that he is very, 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 very close to being I would say, strong consideration to play. Like, he almost could have played last week, so there's certainly a very, very high likelihood that this is maintenance. Not to mention that pretty much every Miami Dolphin player, including the entire offensive line, sat out practice. So I don't think anybody can make anything of Tyreek Hill sitting out practice. Don't forget to vote. The link to this vote, this poll right now, this live poll is in the description of the video and also pinned in the live chat. So far, the 1.1, according to you, the people, is Christian McCaffrey with 17 votes. Somehow I didn't put in the right players because we have probably JJ, I imagine, is this other. I probably should have put JJ in. I don't think the other is going to win because 18 votes to 6 is definitely a tall order. But part of me wonders if I would have put JJ in there, what JJ versus CMC would look like. So that seems to be probably the player I didn't include. I put Hill, I put Gibbs, I put Kyren. And the reason I did that wasn't necessarily my own thinking. I was using the results from the IG poll where those were the biggest names that got the votes. JJ got very little votes in the 1.1 overall. I think people are worried about the passing situation. Who's going to be throwing the football? Is it going to be Kirk Cousins? Will Kirk Cousins be fully healthy? What's that look like? Are people scared of JJ staying healthy? There's a lot of reasons to think why JJ wouldn't be very, very close to winning this, but clearly I underestimated the difference between the YouTube audience and the IG audience because I just extrapolated over the top votes there into this poll here. But Hill has got 7 votes now. Others got 6, and Christian McCaffrey's got 21. Please vote. When this gets to about 30, we might turn into the 1.2 and call it and say CMC. I mean, we already could call it, but I'm going to let it go about 30 votes. Tyreek Hill, I at this moment, I would say 70% chance of playing off of the context that I have on top of what I see and how I digest it based on, 20 plus years of seeing an entire team sit out. The entire offensive line's out. There's nothing to see here. And unless he suffered a setback, this man almost played last week. I highly doubt he sits, especially with this big game. This is a win that the Miami Dolphins need, they want, and they're going to go after it. Achane also sat out, but again, nothing to really draw any conclusions from because, as I said, Raheem Mostert, He did not participate in practice. Tyreek Hill did not participate in practice. The entire offensive line did not participate in practice. Devon Achane didn't participate in practice. So I think everybody that's panicking over any of these guys, Mostert, Achane, Hill, or the offensive line in its entirety, they don't understand that they took a day off, essentially. So nothing to see here. We'll definitely be back tomorrow with some news, and we'll see which pieces of this Miami Dolphins offense practices and doesn't, and then we might have some more indication as to what's going to be going on. JT is practicing in full for Week 16. A lot of questions about this man, JT, and if he should be in your lineups, and I think what it comes down to is him practicing in full and Zach Moss not practicing at all with the forearm, which also was called shoulder. So, kind of weird. Two different reports on his injury, but Zach Moss definitely feeling like he's questionable to play. And even if he does play, this man's practicing in full, preparing for the game. This man's not. So you're going to be rolling the dice one way or another. If you're putting somebody else in, like Moss over Taylor's high risk. Taylor over Moss is high risk. Playing another player ranked probably below Jonathan Taylor talent-wise, upside-wise, is a risk. You're running the risk any way you turn. But I think practicing in full, not practicing at all, and him being said to be back this week, last week, makes me feel like this is probably a pretty sure thing for you. But, you got to make your own decisions. And quite honestly, I couldn't sit him. It just depends on the scenario, though. Every case-by-case situation is different. Ramondre Stevenson not at practice Wednesday means Zeke is probably starting one more game, although I think Zeke, even though facing the 32nd run D in the National Football League, Zeke is a little bit of a paper tiger. And if you look at what Zeke did 1 week ago when he was the number one running back in fantasy football in week number 14, Zeke didn't have very good numbers on the ground. He was running at about, I think, a 3 yard per carry flat, yard per carry average. He didn't do well on the ground. It was all receiving. It was 7 receptions for like 70-plus yards and a touchdown, and he ended up finishing as running back 1. Not on a very high score either. It was running back 1 on a low-scoring running back week. And he didn't do well. 3 yards per carry. I think it was either week 14 or week 15. He was under 3 yards per carry. It might have been last week. 2-point-something yards per carry. Did even worse on the ground. He's a shell of himself. It all comes down to, does he get targets, does he get receptions, and does he somehow get a touchdown? And I just think that Zeke, while he's a decent play, I'm not saying anybody should sit him if you don't have like great options, but I do feel like Zeke is probably more of a paper tiger than not. And if you got a McKinnon, if you got another option similar to that, you got a Rashee Rice. Don't even go there. Rashee Rice is a lock. There's all kinds of players that have nice upside. And if you've got any player with remotely good, consistent feel to them, they're probably a better player than Zeke Elliott. But Zeke Elliott isn't a bench across the board. He's just not a guy I think is going to do as well as most people think. All right, so we got the 1.1. Christian McCaffrey, we can safely assume, let me move all the news over here because we're not done with the news. We'll go through the rest of these players as we tally up and or after we tally up the 1.1. And we know it's McCaffrey that won, but then we plug in the vote for number 1.2. And we'll see. Maybe Hill doesn't win. Maybe it is JJ that will win. I'll certainly have to put JJ in there. I'll look at the votes. If somebody got like 1 or 2 votes, there's more names on this list. I just cropped it to the top 3 names. Christian McCaffrey, the easy, clear-cut 1.1 in 2024. Now, I will say a couple things on this. I will give my input and say that this is not crazy. McCaffrey, a man that the entire fantasy football community, for the most part, wrote off after his 2 injury-plagued seasons. Never again can we draft him in the first round. Never again. People forget that he was literally, people swore him off. People wrote him off, swore him off, said they'd never draft him again because 2 years in a row will do that to you, where you invest in Christian McCaffrey and he comes in and drops an absolute egg on you. 2 years in a row. And then what does he do? Absolutely bounces back. Total fire. 1.1, 20 touchdowns so far. Just a magnificent season in the most ideal offense. Takes care of his body. Probably has 1 more year left. Although I'm sure a lot of us are a little bit worried. Nobody wants to say it out loud. Nobody wants to say it out loud, but everybody's a little bit worried, just a tiny bit, that maybe this will be the year he drops off a little because he's had a lot of mileage and a huge injury history that he kind of shook free. The label, he kind of shook it free because he didn't really suffer any sort of injury this year. He's been banged up here or there, but every running back has. So it really is tough. It really is tough to say you can't draft him 1.1, Bob. You have to. You have to, but there is the conversation that is going to be had in the offseason. Who does fear that injury will finally catch up to him again, because it did once. And but I think it's pretty safe to say that it's probably riskier, as I said just a minute ago, in terms of JT. It's probably riskier to not draft McCaffrey 1.1 than to draft him 1.1. There's a risk everywhere you turn in fantasy football. So we'll go ahead and put McCaffrey 1. I think he clearly won this vote. Now, let's go ahead and I'm going to close this real quickly, this poll, and we're going to create a new one briefly. The votes are as follows. Hill got 7, Other got 7, Kyron got 4, Gibbs got 2. I might leave, actually I'm going to try and put Gibbs in this too. So Hill, Kyron, Gibbs. Hill, Kyron, Gibbs. Let me go ahead and redo a vote here. Okay, so we're going to create a poll. Create a new poll. Who is the 1.2 in 2024? And we know it's PPR, okay? So we're going to go with JJ. We're going to go with Kyron. We're going to go with, actually, Lamb. We'll put Lamb in there. That could be the person that people are voting up. We'll go Gibbs. And we'll go with, so Kyron, who am I leaving out? JJ, Kyron, Lamb, Gibbs. Who else do we need in here? And Hill. Okay, so here we go. The vote has been created. I almost forgot Hill. The vote has been created. Let me go ahead and fix the poll. There it is. Go ahead and vote now. I'll drop the link in the live chat. We'll pin the link. And let me see if I can go to the poll page. Okay, there we go. Here's the link. Let me pin the link in the live chat. This is for who's the 1.2. Link has been pinned. Go ahead and vote right now as we speak. Hill, JJ. Hill takes an early lead. 4 votes for Hill. 2 votes for JJ, 10 votes for Hill. Gibbs enters the chat. Kyron enters the chat. Kyron's got 2. Kyron's got 2 now. Takes the lead over Gibbs. Kyron's got 2. Kyron's got 3. JJ's got 5. Hill's got 18. It's going to be a quick little race. As you guys vote, link in the live chat pinned. I'm going to get through the rest of this news so that we can focus just on this the remainder of the time. Take phone calls and super chats. Jaden Reed, Toe, did not practice on Wednesday. I wouldn't worry about this right now. We'll have more information tomorrow, but everything I'm hearing is precautionary. Jacobs quad appears on track to return week 16. Monitor this, but this would take Zamir White out, unfortunately, as a really good play. He's probably still a good emergency play, but at this point, who knows? I still very much fear if Jacobs has any sort of setback whatsoever, like let's say this week, that he would be very, very apt to being let me sit out week 17, week 16, or week 17, week 18, whatever. Saints coach Dennis Allen said Chris Olave will play week 16. That is good news. That is very, very good news. Keenan Allen is not practicing on Wednesday. Keenan Allen, expect him to potentially miss this game, could miss the remainder of the season with Herbert out for the year, with this team not playing for anything, and Keenan Allen being an older player and likely wanting to potentially rest his body, lengthen his career the best way he can, which would be to sit and not take a major abuse. This will be something that I would envision to be a problem for everybody moving forward. If you got Keenan Allen, you probably got to put a fork in him. You never know. He could return. He could want to stay in a rhythm. Maybe he's not that kind of guy. Maybe he's too competitive to stay off the field. But if it were me and I was his age, and we're talking about maybe the age of decline next year, Keenan Allen might just be done for the season. And then what does he look like in 2024? He's an older player. Ziggy, how old is Keenan Allen? Ziggy.
Allen is 31 years old.
31.
He was born on April 27, 1992, in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Ziggy off. 31 years old. 31 years old, turning 32 before the 2024 season begins. That is an old man when it comes to wide receiver years. Alexander Mattison not at Vikings walkthrough practice on Wednesday, which means that Ty Chandler season is still upon us. Ty Chandler ready to drop loads in week 16 for all of you. Michael Pittman, prayer emojis for this man who took the nastiest hit, was limited Wednesday. That's good that he's even limited. There's some progress there, potential that he could play, but I just don't see it. I mean, limited. Plus, I mean, this guy doesn't want to go out there and play if he wants to protect his future too, because he got rocked, man. And I think when players that got rocked like he did try and play immediately, it doesn't make sense when some players don't play. I know they got to pass a protocol, but I've talked to a concussion specialist, and a concussion specialist will tell you that anybody that says they know what's going on about concussions, they don't. Because even the specialists say so much of it is unknown. It is the brain. There's so much complexity to this, so much unknown. And essentially, you have everybody and their mother talking about, well, he passed the protocol, he's good to go. Not necessarily. Just because you're not showing signs of currently being in a concussive state doesn't mean you aren't in a position to be more vulnerable to a concussion. That, oh, he's out of the woods. So Pittman, in my opinion, Pittman should sit. And that's why I think Stroud's still in the protocol technically, but they need to keep Stroud safe because this is his longevity. And the further you put yourself away from the concussion that you were in, the concussive state you were in, the far less likely you are to have a concussion again. If you try and rush back, there's a high likelihood of recidivism. There's a higher likelihood of you having a concussion the quicker you try and get back onto the field, because showing symptoms doesn't mean you aren't more prone than normal to another concussion. Kenneth Walker's shoulder did not participate in Wednesday's walkthrough. Again, walkthroughs are, everybody should be not so worried about walkthroughs. Remember, Achane didn't participate in his walkthrough. Everybody freaked out. Walkthroughs are almost a free day off, especially when you're a week 15, 16, 17. These players have been through the freaking ringer. And so they're getting more days off rest than ever. And you have the whole entire Miami Dolphin offensive line not practicing today. So today's a weird news day that I don't put too much weight on. Tyreek Hill's crushing this vote, by the way. Tyreek Hill, 27 votes. Kyren, 9 votes. Does anybody remember what the percentage was on the McCaffrey? Does anybody remember what the percentage was? Can somebody go back and even, actually, you know what? Yeah, go back and check it if you can. Somebody tell me what that percentage is. I want to put the percentage next to it so we know how strongly that player won the sum total of the votes. So we're going to go with, at the time I call it, we're going to say Tyreek Hill gets it at 52%. Okay, so Tyreek Hill wins this vote at 52%. Tyreek Hill, congratulations. You are, according to the masses, the 1.02 in 2024 fantasy football. I believe CMC will get a vote from everybody. Please drop it if you guys can go look it up or figure it out. Maybe the link. Actually, the link's in the description. If anybody can go get that link, just go to the description, click on it, see what the percentage is for Christian McCaffrey. But now it's time to go back and vote on who is the 1.3. Hill's the 2, McCaffrey's the 1. So we're putting Kyren, JJ, Gibbs, and Lamb and other. Kyren, JJ, Gibbs, and Lamb. Who is Who is the 1.3 in 2024? Kyren, Gibbs, Lamb, Kyren, Gibbs. Who else? Who else am I throwing in there? Other. JJ. Okay, here we go. Poll created. Let me go ahead and click on this bad boy here and insert the results of the poll. Results of the poll go right here. And then let me go to the vote page and copy that link and pin it. Okay, so here's the vote page, guys. I'm going to put it in the live stream. There it is. Boom. Does anybody have that percentage on McCaffrey? What did he win by? Can anybody look that up for me? So vote on the 1.3. CMC's the 1. Tyreek Hill's the 2. I need the percentage on what McCaffrey won by. If you guys could grab that, if somebody could go look, the link's in the description of the first vote for the 1.1. And I just want to make sure I have it. So the 1.1 is CMC. And the 1.2 is Tyreek Hill. And we're voting on the 1.3 right this second. And then we'll finish this news. We're almost done with the news. We'll definitely be done with the news by the time we get this other vote up. It shows 1.2. Gibbs is him, says, Javia, appreciate you, bro. All right, is anybody going to give me that percentage? I think it was by 55%. We'll put it at 55 for now until I fix it. I was pretty sure that's what it was, that McCaffrey won by 55% in that territory. Okay, so far JJ is winning by 12-8 to Gibbs. 5 votes for, you guys can't see, Lamb's got 5 votes, others got 3. So JJ's currently winning 12-8. Kyren's got the second place of this particular 1.3 vote, meaning that Kyren's probably leaning toward the 1.4 victory for now. And no, Gibbs just took him over 9 votes to 8. Gibbs says, I'm going to win the 1.4, Smitty. JJ's lead is kind of closing. 12-9-8 is the current vote. Ron says, stop rigging the vote. I can't rig nothing. I got 1 vote, pal. I got 1 vote. I know you're joking, but appreciate your $20 hauler, Ron Navy.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Ron Navy to the moon. All right, let me get this news out of the way, and then we'll continue with this vote. Zach Wilson, concussion, seems unlikely to play Week 16. Honestly, that's like a nothing burger piece of news, but then again, it's like, hey, Garrett Wilson needs him, and Garrett Wilson won't have him. Arthur Blank, I went on a tirade on this yesterday, and I posted that clip individually on the YouTube channel where I just said, what in the hell are we doing? What in the hell are we doing? Not firing this man, drafting an RB in the top 10, not using him, and not having any accountability. And the fact that the fan base isn't more irate is not helping matters. The fact that Bijan's quiet about it and thankful and loves his coach and apologizes for him and whatever. I'm partly mad at Bijan for not being hungry and saying, "Give me the ball." We need an alpha mentality in Bijan, and I don't see that. That does partially concern me. He's such a well-spoken, amazing, kind person, and I've heard this from 10, 15 different people. Some I trust very much to say, "Man, this is the most genuine, nicest, well-mannered kid I've ever met coming to the National Football League. Just so gracious and everything." But we kind of need a dog. We kind of need a dog mentality. We kind of need a hungry alpha inside this attitude. And he's got to take control a little bit, or he's not going to grab a hold and seize the situation. Unbelievable. We'll find out where Bijan is in this, and see if anybody even has him on this list. We have him in here somewhere. I don't think he's going anywhere in the top 10. I don't think he's going anywhere in the top 10. But that's going to be good for anybody that does want Bijan to do something. Talk about Miami Sue, free agent potential visit here for the Dolphins that could cause some waves a little bit. So I'll keep you posted on Sue and what happens with him and the Dolphins. Good visit, nothing yet. We'll see if they beef up their defense a little bit. Dolphins, I think, are going to surprise some people. Do I think they win a Super Bowl? No, I don't. Do I think they make it to the Super Bowl? They could, but no, I don't. I don't have them winning the AFC. I have the Buffalo Bills winning the AFC or the Chiefs. Buffalo Bills or the Chiefs. But we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of good competition right now, and there's no real lock in my mind. I don't care what record says. I think that between the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Dolphins, it's like anybody's title, in the conference title game. It's anybody's title to grab. It really is. But there's a lot of debate that could occur here. KC's a very, very solid. KC's a very, very solid pick. Definitely not in their groove right now, but as I say all the time, once KC gets in, if Buffalo gets in, it's still going to be tough for Buffalo, but they're definitely on their way. If Buffalo gets in, once KC is in the playoffs, and they're in the playoffs, KC is a fresh, clean slate, and I think that's going to be something to watch. It's going to be something to watch Mahomes try and make everybody say, "Oh my God, can you believe he did it again?" Because that's Mahomes' nature, is to completely impress everybody all the time, and it's annoying, and it's why a lot of people absolutely hate Mahomes and the Chiefs, is because they get nothing but praise everywhere they go, and it's the last thing I think anybody wants to hear is, "Oh my God, Mahomes did it again." I really believe it's the last thing any of us, even including me, want to hear. Last thing any of us want to see is Mrs. Mahomes just boasting about how their team just completely came back and just ravaged everybody in the playoffs after struggling all season long. Okay, let's see here. JJ 12 votes, Gibbs 10. I think I got to expand this out because we've got a closer race in this one, and I want everybody to see the votes here. So we got Lamb Chops. Let me expand this out a little bit. JJ. There we go. 41 votes so far. We need more votes, guys. Hit that link. That link should be pinned in the live chat. Let me drop the link one more time. This is the link to vote on this poll. I think I already dropped it. I think it's pinned right there. Paul says, "This is the dumbest chat." Let me see, Paul. Let's see what you're saying here. We forgot about Cousins has an Achilles. No way I'm drafting JJ. It's all about the QB. JJ will bust next year if you draft him top 3, says Paul. We all have 3 weeks left to vote. This is too early. It's too early to talk 2024, Paul. You have some sort of rule of thumb, and then what is this, Paul? What is this right here? Paul says, "Did you vote on my question, Smitty?" I don't know what you're talking about. Where is this one thing that I saw? There was a message somewhere. Paul says, "This is a dumbass chat." Paul, well, you know what, Paul? We'll see you later. We'll see you later. You don't have to be here. If this chat feels, if this, what kind of negativity you gotta come. This is what you live for. Paul, I want to give you a hug, bro. I don't understand what would make you so pissed off that you literally everything you're just complaining about. You just want to come in and complain about everything. Why are you drafting too early? Why you guys like JJ? He's gonna get hurt. This chat's dumb. Now you can talk about me, but you're not talking about my
Someone
chat
is
that
at the
way.
front door.
Ziggy, who's at the front door?
Okay.
All right, Ziggy off. It's the mailman. Must be a package because he rang the doorbell. But Paul, I wish you well, Paul. I have no ill will toward you. I hope you somehow find happiness. I hope you realize that negativity is not going to get you anywhere. And I honestly don't want Paul gone. I didn't want Paul gone. But when he starts calling the chat names, and when he has a problem with everything, like, who's going to keep a guy like that around? Nobody. JJ, 14 votes. Gibbs, 12. This is too close to call right here. Kyron, 9. Lamb, 8. Other 3. We need more votes. We're going to call it at 60 votes. We'll call it at 60 votes. JJ's got a 14 to 12 lead.
Detected at the front door.
14 to 12 lead. JJ over Gibbs. All right, while we wait for that to pan out, let's go to these super chats. $2 hauler, 4-point passing TD, Fields or Purdy. Anything can happen, and Purdy's matchup is tough against the Ravens, so it's like I could understand going a weird direction, but how do you sit Purdy right now? I don't think I could sit Purdy, so Purdy is the start. Just no matter what, he's just the start right now. Opponent of CMC, Debo, Kittle. Well, there you go. I don't make plays decisions off that. I know that you want to, because you want to have Fields like score, and if Purdy doesn't and all the Chief players do bad, or you want all the the Niner players do bad, then you could still do well with your quarterback play. But the bottom line is you got to start your best players. You got to score the most amount of points. It has nothing to do with your opponent. You know what I mean? So just make the decision of who scores the most amount of points. Not to mention, if these guys go nuts and McCaffrey doesn't do it all on the ground, there will be some, nullifying some of the points going back and forth. But I don't start Fields because of my opponent. I start the best player. Thank you for the question. G-Money, hey, Smitty, drop Moss to pick up Singletary. I probably would. With JT back, I definitely would. Singletary's on fire right now, bro.
Alert.
$20 hauler.
Super chat alert.
$20 hauler. My boy, dropping it. Appreciate you. Appreciate you so much, my boy G-Money. Dropping the 20 wad. That boy, $5 hauler. On to the semis. Thanks to you, brother. Start to Pollard, K9, Chandler. I'm going to go K9 and Chandler for right now. And also going to check out Lou's here this weekend. I'll let you know what I think. Where are you going to be? Are you in Arizona, that boy? Did I forget you were in Arizona, or are you in Chicago? Lou's is fantastic. So I guess I would go K9 and Chandler for right now. You know, if something happens with Madison, you know, you have to revisit that. But, I mean, Pollard's a hard sit, you know. Walker, Pollard. I think maybe the chat needs to vote on that. Walker, Pollard. Chat, please vote on Walker or Pollard. Walker or Pollard. Please give it a little look-see there and vote for our boy, and let's see if we can get him the best advice we can possibly give him. This one's from Rise Above. People got to chill on JJ Smitty. He's been hurt. I don't understand what the hate is on him. I mean, he's never had an injury history whatsoever. So, like, for people to, like, act like he's gonna be injured from here on out is a weird take. It's weird. It's a weird take. Why are you hating on Ron? Why are you hating Ron? You upset a Steelers player isn't available to vote, JK, says Perps. Perps dropping a $20 haul. I think Perps wants to go blow for blow, $20 haulers with Ron. I don't recommend doing that because Ron's never lost one of those.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Ron's never lost a blow for blow super chat competition, but Perps is the guy to do it. And I'm not trying to egg you guys on to do it, but good gracious, that would be funny. $10 hauler from my boy Joe. Olave will play. Pick 2. Waddle, Olave, Achane. Yeah, we just reported on that. Olave's a go, in case anybody doesn't know. I'm going to go Waddle and Achane for right now. I mean, there's debate to have. Depends on the news as we approach, you know, Achane's game and all that, but I don't anticipate Achane sitting or anything. Rams are a good matchup for Olave. Waddle downgrade if Hill plays. I don't know. You could say that Hill's going to draw all the defensive attention, and maybe Waddle's better out there if he's not the focal point of a defense is going to absolutely have a pretty decent shot at shutting down the number one wide receiver. So I don't know. You know what? I'll probably say this. I would go Olave and Achane. Go Olave and Achane, and we wait on Hill and we digest it and we try to figure out how we really feel about Waddle given the circumstance he's facing. But I do think Hill will play. And I think Waddle will do okay. But you know what? This matchup's so tough for the Dolphins. I'm going to go Olave. Olave and Achane. Lock it in. Final answer.
You've just
I don't feel super good about Waddle's matchup, to be honest, no matter what happens with Hill. And I do expect Hill to play. Rams are good. Gut says Achane and can replicate what Cook did for the Buffalo against Dallas. Your thoughts? I mean, yeah, bro, anything's possible, especially how quick and shifty Achane is. It's hard to really comp him to anybody. All right, so JJ, we need more votes. First one to 20 is going to win this. The link is in the description. No, the link's in the live chat pinned. The link's in the live chat pinned. We need votes here. First one to 20 wins. And I might even make the second place because I feel like, no, maybe we do have to have Kyren and Gibbs face off. I don't think it's fair. Yeah, because some of the JJ votes might go. We don't know where they're going to go. So JJ 14, Gibbs 13, Kyren 10. First one, we'll call it to 18 instead of 20 if we're having trouble people clicking the link and voting. First one to 18 wins. 14 votes JJ, 13 Gibbs, 10 Kyren, Lamb 9, other 3. Please vote. Please vote. Lego Batman dropping a 20 watt on screen. What's good, fan? Who needs to be found? Bijan. What happened last week, Lego? Oh. I guess you didn't find Draven, who emailed me and said he made the playoffs. I'll believe it when I see it. Mahomes was kind of found. I guess, Lego, this is not your fault. We had the wrong names up. This week, we need you to find... Let's see. Kelsey. Diggs. Achane. Kelsey, Diggs, Achane. Appreciate you, Lego Batman. We need you to comb Gotham City, find these 3 individuals, Kelsey, Diggs, and Achane. I want all 3 of them at my doorstep by end of Monday evening. Lego. I'm not saying we're fed up with last week's delivery because that's my fault. I guess I took Bijan off. That's on me. But we need this delivery to be 100% accurate on this one. Someone says find Breece Hall on top of it. Lego, appreciate you. Okay, first one to 18 wins. Are we really not getting any more votes, guys? Are we really not getting any more votes? Breece should bounce back this week, says Ray G. New offensive coordinator, and the Bills' rush game has been great, and the passing game has become obsolete. I don't know if I'd quantify it that way, Golf. I think there's just been the flow of everything. I truly believe we're going to see some balance. We got 14 votes, 13 votes, 10 votes, 9 votes, 3 votes. The first one to 18 wins, or I'm just going to call it, and JJ wins. But we need more votes. Oh, someone says I still got the 1.2 pinned. Okay. Let me see. Let me see what I can do here. Go to the vote page. Let me click that and let me drop that link in the live chat. All right, here's the vote. Okay. Sorry about that. That's on me. I was wondering what took everyone so long to vote. There we go. 1.3. That's on me. Now the votes are flying in. I guess only the people that voted when they saw that first time I posted and then it got lost in the chat. That's totally on me. 16 votes for JJ, 15 votes for Gibbs, 12 votes for Kyron. Lamb's got 10. Lamb's got 12. We got 12 for Kyron and Lamb. We got Gibbs with 15. We got JJ with 18. We're going to go to 25 now that we're cranking on the votes. That's totally my bad. I was wondering what in the hell was going on with everybody voting. 20 votes for JJ, 15 for Gibbs, Lamb with 14, Kyron with 13, Other with 3. This is a tough race. 70 votes now coming in. JJ 21. We're going to 25. JJ 21. 17 for Gibbs, 15 for Lamb Chops, 16 for Lamb Chops. Going once, going twice. JJ with 21. Gibby with 18. What is going to happen here? Such a close race. Let's let this marinate for a minute. Yeah, definitely. Voted for Gibbs, says James. Okay, here we go. 21 votes. Okay, can we get a few more votes, guys? Can we get to 25? 25 votes wins. 18 for Gibbs, 21 for JJ, 17 for Lamb Chops. This is getting close. Gibbs is closing the gap. 19 votes over Lamb Chops with 17 and Kyron over 17. And JJ's only got a 3-vote lead over Gibbs now. This is getting quite interesting. Quite interesting. 25 votes and it's over. Who's going to get 25 first? Gibbs closes the gap. 2-vote lead for JJ. Can Gibbs get a 20th vote, 21-20? Can Gibbs close it to a 1-vote gap? And Lamb's like on everybody's tail. $22 votes for JJ. He's got a 3-vote lead. He's trying to pull away. 25 wins. 25 wins. 25 wins. Do it live. Gibbs got a vote. 22-20. Gibbs has closed the gap. 21 for Gibbs. 22 for JJ. Lamb Chops 19. Kyron 17. 22-22 tied. JJ Gibbs tied for the 1.3 2024. Who's getting to 25? Who's got a dog in this race? Could be a little bit of a swayed vote, as Ron was saying earlier, just by the excitement of it. But I'm not trying to push Gibbs in. I'm just excited for this close race. 22-22. JJ takes a 1 point. There he goes. JJ 24. Gibbs with the 22. Gibbs is going to potentially lose this right at the end. On your horse. Gibbs, you going to take that? 22-24. And Lamb Chops at 20. Still close. 25. JJ wins. JJ wins. JJ is the 1.3 in 2022. Let's type this out, Jefferson, just because that JJ is huge and takes up a lot of real estate in terms of height. So let's go with the widescreen version of this. Okay, here we go. JJ, appreciate you. JJ is the 1.03. And he got 28% of the vote, which it's getting a lot closer, is basically what I fully expect. I love how everyone in my entire family just blows my phone up during my show. I've been doing the 8 p.m. show, even when we were 7 p.m. for how long now? And everybody just dials me up during the middle of the show. They have no idea my family has no idea what I do for a living. They have no clue. My mother constantly, like, I don't know what he does. Like, she hints that I'm unemployed. I think to people, like, I don't know, he does something on the internet. I don't think. They don't know what I do. They don't know what I do. They blow my phone up in the 8 p.m. show every single day. I'm live at 8 p.m. for at least an hour and a half to 2 hours every single day. And everybody dials me up every single time. My phone blowing up. If I don't put it on Do Not Disturb, and it even breaks through. Okay, Jefferson, 28%, 1.3, doing it live. Who is the 1.4? Let's put it to a vote. I'll open the phone lines in a minute. I know the phone lines have been kind of going nuts, but we're in the middle of something that's a little hard to navigate while I'm taking phone calls. So maybe I'll take phone calls right after this and let this vote marinate. Who is the 1.4? So it's going to be, we're going to take JJ out and probably leave it as is. The only other person I can think of is Chase. Maybe I'll put Chase in there. I wouldn't take Chase here, but it is what it is. All right, is it? I'm not going to tell. You'll see my vote. No, actually you won't, because I'm going to put the link up first. All right, here's the link. This is actually, let me redo it. 1.4 vote and then put the link. Okay, I'm going to pin that right there. I mean, both links work. They're the same link, but let me just pin this message here. Okay, so the vote to the 1.4, if I can click on it. Vote to the 1.4 is up. And let me put the poll up and edit this poll, and then I'll take phone calls. The phone calls will open up. The phone lines will open up. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the live poll. Who is the 1.4 overall? Jamar Chase getting 3 votes already. That's pretty crazy. I mean, I'm not trying to sway the vote any, but that's pretty crazy that anybody would trust him to that degree. Where he's getting 3 votes, you know? Lamb Chops coming in. You know what's interesting is you could easily say, okay, I'm going to put the second highest vote getter as the next up. But if you don't really realize and you don't know how many of those JJ votes, or like JJ1, how many of those would go toward Lamb versus Kyron versus, so this one's very close. And the crazy part is all those JJ voters must have overwhelmingly liked Lamb or Kyron over Gibbs. Now a JJ voter might be more apt to go PPR wide receiver. You know, wide receiver, go wide receiver early. So that could explain why Gibbs is almost won the last vote, but can't get past Lamb right now. He probably will catch up, but he can't get past Lamb right now because the JJ voters were wide receiver guys. So that's why you got to run the pullback. You can't get too crazy. You forgot Sun God. Yeah, we probably do, but there is another. So if everybody wanted Sun God, we'd see other creep up, and that's when I'd know to investigate for another name. But Sun God definitely needs to be in the next one. I think, yeah. I think we need to put Sun God in the next one for sure. I don't think he'd win this one anyway, but you never know. You never know. Kyron 21, Lamb 21, Gibbs 14. Very interesting. All right, phone lines are open. If anybody wants to dial in, I'm gonna let you guys call in if you know the number, and I'll answer and put you guys on hold here and answer in order which I receive the calls. Yo, what's good, fam? Who needs finding? Thanks again, Lego Batman, for dropping the 20 wad. Perps 14 dropping another 20 wad. We need Draven to find Arthur Smith's wife. Bijan tends to play when Draven is cuddled up with Mrs. Smith. Draven tried to hit on Arthur Smith's wife when we did a mock-up phone call to Arthur, and Draven's like, "Hey, Miss Smith, he looks like Arthur doesn't know how to handle and use his weapons. So maybe I could step in." Is what he said. Perps with a 20. Appreciate you, Perps, for doing it live, dropping a 20 wad.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Perps to the freaking moon. Appreciate you, Perps, for dropping that on screen, my guy. Ron Navy says, it let me vote JJ 24 times. No. You forgot the Sun God. Who cares? Says, peace. This is the McDonald's will. Mullins, Stafford, Flacco, or Murray from waivers. I'm probably going to go with Stafford. He's just on fire. You know, I like Kyler Murray, but I'm not starting him over Stafford right now. Also, for final flex, Collins, who's probably out. Keenan, who's probably out. Hunter Henry, and McKinnon. I'm going McKinnon easily with those options. Those options that's a cakewalk. Start one tight end, Taysom Hill, Kincaid, or Hunter Henry. Probably Hunter Henry right now. I hate to say it, but it is what it is at this point until I still love Kincaid. And part of what we said like weeks ago was is there a chance Kincaid doesn't explode until the NFL playoffs and his rookie wall that he's kind of in right now, or the transition of the offense and just the way that the new offensive coordinator is using him and is going to start opening things up a little differently as this run has become a big establishment for the Bills with the new OC. Maybe Kincaid gets, starts popping off in the NFL playoffs, and then we start getting a taste of what he's going to do in 2024. So that was definitely a possibility, but I think there's still a possibility that he breaks out of this little rut, kind of like Laporta did. Laporta had a string of games where people were actually worried about him, and now he's back to blowing up and exploding and easily the number one tight end for 2024. There's no debate. And part of me thinks that Laporta's name's going to start coming up where people want him in this vote before we get even close to 12. He'll be in the top 10. I'm not sure where we should all take him, but he's certainly, first round contention for sure. 10 gifted memberships from DeBalt. Appreciate you doing that. To the moon. My guy. And then Romario says, Romario, welcome to the YouTube exclusive membership, Romario. Appreciate you clicking that, my man. All right, let's get over to, the vote is 24 votes Kyren, 22 Lamb Chops, and Gibbs is 14. Those JJ votes had to have been, none of them wanted Jahmyr Gibbs. That's crazy. Ron Navy, you're live.
What's up, Vinny? I thought Purpose was going to get banned for a minute on his last super chat. I had to read it a couple times because I was reading it as Smitty's wife. I'm like, oh, you're dead meat.
Oh, yeah, no.
It said Arthur Smith, but I read just my eyes because it's
don't let Draven. Guys, hide your wives anywhere near Draven. Hide your wives anywhere near Draven. Draven's a dog, and Draven will not hold back, and he's like a magnet too. Arthur Smith's wife better be careful, because this man is.
I read that as Smitty.
Yeah. Kyren, look, I'll be honest. My vote, Ron. What was your vote here? My vote was Kyren. I love Gibbs. Gibbs is probably next for me, but I think Kyren to me could be the 2 overall.
I voted Lamb. Simply because it's the biasness of best ball. So that's how I view it as for best ball drafting, not so much redraft, but best ball. The receivers are going to go before most of the running backs.
Yeah, guys, please vote. The link is in the live chat pinned. It says 1.4. This is the 1.1, the 1.2, the 1.3. Here are the voting percentages that they won by in the field of vote. And we're going to go to 30 votes. Unless we don't get a bunch of votes, then Kyren already won with 25. Maybe 25 is the number we just use, because that's what we're reaching pretty easily, and then we start crawling. We'll go Kyren. Kyren's the winner. Kyren is the 1.4. Kyren Williams, congrats. Kyren is the 1.4. Steal, if you ask me. I actually think this is a pretty solid value here. 1.4 Kyren Williams. And I wouldn't hesitate to draft him there one single bit. I love this kid. I love this kid. He has the feel of Kamara meets. Who would be the other running back? Kamara meets. He feels like. What running back comes to mind that is the combination of Kyren's skill set? It's Kamara, but he's definitely a brute force between the tackle guys. So he's not Kamara. He can be Kamara. He can be as good as Kamara, but Kyren is like a monster between the tackles. I'd almost say he feels like a little Christian McCaffrey. I don't think that's disrespectful to Christian McCaffrey. Kyren plays at near that level. He is Christian McCaffrey-esque. I would almost say that's the majority of his game feels that way.
Yeah, but you got to kind of look at, a healthy Breece with a good offensive line, a healthy Walker, White also coming on strong this year. All those guys are they're right around the same. They're all around.
I mean,
the same skill set.
definitely arguments can be made. That's why we're voting on it, and that's why the vote's close. But we'll put Amon in here. Amon-Ra in here. Lamb, Gibbs, Chase. I don't even know if Chase is, honestly. Anybody else want to throw in another name? Amon-Ra, Gibbs, Lamb, Jamar Chase. Who do we want in here?
Tank Dell. He's going to go huge next year.
I don't think he go this high though.
I bet he does. He was going before he got injured. He was going high. People like the battle royals. He was going high.
I don't think he's going to go that high in a draft, especially coming off the injury. But let's.
I don't know.
I mean, let's see what the chat thinks. If the chat overwhelmingly wants me to add somebody, I'll add them. But I don't think anybody's going to put him that high. Laporta, a couple Laporta votes. I knew Laporta is going to get in the mix here soon. We'll put Laporta in there. There we go. Laporta.
Will be another one that goes in the early or late, probably second round.
Okay. Here's the vote. This is for the 1.05 vote. There we go. And let me copy this link and change the poll. So this poll is closed. Kyron was the winner. Lamb got pretty close to him, but we closed it at 25 votes. Here it is. Amon-Ra, Gibbs, Lamb, Chops. We've got We've got Jamar Chase. We got Laporta. So Lamb, Chops, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Chase, Other, and Laporta are in this vote right here. Kelsey, come on, Souls. What do you mean Kelsey, bro? How are we gonna put Kelsey in the top 5 overall? What is going on, Markin? Haven't you been watching? No, Markin, no. Kelsey might be done. I mean, I could see drafting him, like, if he finishes strong somehow. Like, if it is a lot of Mahomes and he finishes, let's paint a fairy tale picture of Kelsey dropping 100 yards and a touchdown for 3. Well, he's got the whole playoffs too. Let's paint it this way. He drops 100 and a touchdown in 2 of his next 3 games and has about 80 yards in one of them. Let's say in the playoffs he has 90 and a touch in one game. Let's say he has 110 and a touch in another game, and then the Chiefs get knocked out. Let's just paint that volume. Then I think he would be in the second round. I think people will be like, maybe he does have one more year, because that's how we react as a people, as a human, as human beings. We're gonna react to what have you done for me lately. And if he was to go on a tear like that, he would convince some people that it was all Mahomes, that it was all the KC Chiefs situation. But if he doesn't do that on the way out the door, he's not going in the second round. He'll be a third rounder. And would I take him in the third round and on some occasions, third or fourth round? Probably in 1 or 2 leagues out of 10. But there's no way Kelsey's even remotely close to the top 5, let alone the top 10. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong and the chat wants to put him in. We'll see. But I haven't seen one single person mention Kelsey yet. I apologize. I wasn't trying to blast you, bro. A.J. Brown, that's definitely in consideration. A.J. Brown probably needs to be added here. We got a lot of great players to add. Jaime says Gibbs or Bijan. Well, do you see Bijan anywhere in this vote yet? Until Arthur Smith's gone and we see Bijan do something without him, let's say. Let's say Arthur Smith gets fired next week, and then in the final week, Bijan has 125 yards and 2 scores. Then all of a sudden, people are talking about Bijan in the top 10. Right like that. One game, one move, Arthur's gone. That's how quick and reactive people are. And I'm not saying that's a bad reaction. I'm just saying that's what people need to see. This is a vote. No one's voting Bijan right now in the top 12. Gibbs he almost went 2, bro. So Gibbs by 100,000 miles over Bijan, according to the population of people you see before you.
You know what? That's good, though. Think about the value we're going to be able to get done at next year.
Yeah, definitely. Someone said I still have the other one pinned. Okay, hold on. 1.5 vote pinned. I'm sorry, I keep messing the pin up. 10 gifted memberships from DeBolt. Thank you, DeBolt.
That's why I called in the first time, but then you noticed it, so I hung up.
Oh, I didn't see you. I wasn't having the phone line up. Okay.
Yeah. I called in to say, hey, you got the wrong pin in there. Everybody was saying it in the chat, but you didn't notice it at first.
Yeah, Perp says no way Kelsey is a first rounder. Of course he's not. I was painting a picture of if he had 100 yards and a touchdown in like 7 straight games, like the final, or let's say 5 straight games, the final 3 games, and then like the 2 playoff games. He had like 100 and a touch. He would revive so many people's opinion of him. But he's got to do that, and he's not going to. Most definitely not going to. Lamb Chops with 15. I think I pinned it right. Yeah, 1.5 vote. We got McCaffrey 1, Hill 2, Jefferson 3, Kyron 4, and Lamb Chops is winning 15-8 across Gibbs, Jamar Chase, and Amon Ra's got 5 votes. Others got 4. Laporta's got 1. 40 votes total. First one to 25 wins. Lamb Chops is leading 15-8. I need more votes. Please vote. Please vote. Please vote. Please vote. It was crazy that Gibbs was the number 2. He almost won the number 2 overall over Tyreek Hill. And now he can't win 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. That is crazy. It's crazy.
I think part of it has to do because Monty's there and Gibbs will have like a great week and then they'll go away from him. Then they'll have another great week. Then they'll go away from him. I think that has part.
I don't know, but what I'm saying is he was almost won the 2 overall pick. He was within like 1 vote from winning the number 2 overall, and now he's not even getting the 5 pick. I'm not trying to say that there aren't people that wonder what he's going to do. I'm not concerned about Monty at all. Gibbs is phenomenal. Someone said Rachaad White. We could definitely put. You guys got to throw names out if you want him in the vote. Rachaad White. We could put Rachaad White in here. Let's go over to Jake from Tampa. Jake, what's up? Jake, you're live.
What's going on, Smitty? I got a couple questions about starter sit this week.
Okay.
How are we feeling about the Jets defense versus the Chiefs defense?
I mean, I'd probably go with the Jets D, but I mean, the Jets go up against the
Commanders.
Yeah, Commanders. I like that. That's a pretty good matchup. I mean, even if you say, okay, Howell can do well. Howell's like one of the most, if not still the most sacked quarterback in the National Football League. So there's a lot of opportunity for fumbles and whatnot. So that's a pretty damn good play. The Chiefs are a tougher play. I mean, the Raiders are very vulnerable. You know, like O'Connell's not immune to turnovers. He just had a really good game, but he's at least trending in the right direction. They're both good plays. KC at home, I think they're bouncing back. It's a solid play.
Is Howe even going to? They benched him last week.
I think so, but we'll have to see. But KC's like a good play, but I would go the Jets. I mean, the Jets are outscoring KC by how much in your league? Like, what's the ranking look like?
So the Jets are fifth ranked, 8.7 points, and the Chiefs are 11th ranked, 7.9.
Yeah, I mean, I just roll with the better defense has been doing it all year.
Yeah. What about Tua versus Stafford?
Tua's got a tough matchup. I would go Stafford. Plus, Stafford's been on fire, bro. You know, I think that would be. He's got a kind of a tough matchup to it, but it's at home. The thing about, and I've said this before, and we're 2 votes away from locking this Lamb vote down. 2 more Lamb votes and it's locked in. I've said this before, bro. The Rams cannot be considered a team that you say, oh, this matchup is tough. Like, this team is loaded, and the Rams just don't care. They run the ball down your throat. Doesn't matter how good your rushing defense is. Kyron's unbelievable. Doesn't matter how good your pass defense is. You got 2 wide receivers in Puka and Cooper Kupp and Kyron catching the football. It's just, I think Stafford. I'm going Stafford. It's not even close. Anything can happen,
Okay.
but Stafford's been on fire. How can you sit him?
Yeah, I got Tyreek in my lineup as well, so I'm going back and forth. Obviously, if Tyreek doesn't play, I think Stafford's a no-brainer, but it's tough.
All right, bro.
Yep.
All right, later.
You got the Saquon in there.
No, not yet. I mean, I'll put whatever the chat wants, but I don't think anybody's voting Saquon here yet. Saquon's in a
I don't
garbage
know. He might be on a new
situation.
team next year.
He might be on a new team, bro, but he says he wants to be on the Giants roster. Now, that could just be, speaking to the fan base, trying to keep everybody happy, but when his natural inclination is to stay with the team, that's his first instinct, is to stay with the Giants. He ain't in my top 5, 6, 7, 8. He's not in my first round. Although he'll be one of the most exciting players to talk about. And should he land, this is not me telling you you're 100% wrong, but we don't have that information right now. We can't speculate all that. There's so many moving parts. Should he fall into an amazing place like, let's call it the Baltimore Ravens, just to throw out a name, then guess what? We're talking Saquon, in different ways. But right now, you're assuming a lot of things, So
yeah,
no,
you're right.
I can't put him there. There's no way. All right, I appreciate you, bro. Later, Jake.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Jake from Tampa. All right, let me get these super chats out of the way. Mike, can you mute? I don't know what in the hell you're doing, Mike. Sounds like you're at a club or something. Okay, yeah, just mute real quick, and then I'll come to you. Wow, shaking my head, Ron. Thanks. I'm better than that. That was Purpose's reaction to you, Ron. This one from James. James says Kyren equals Kamara plus Ingram. I don't mind that, but I think I'd rather use a better. I mean, Ingram was really good for a minute, but I'd almost rather use a bigger name, than Ingram to describe what Kyron's doing right now. And Josh with a $20 freaking holler. Josh, you monster, Josh.
Alert. Super chat alert.
You straight up monster, Josh. Josh, shout out to you, Smitty, for having the best show in fantasy football. I'm calling it live. Gibbs to the moon, locked in, number 5. He's going to explode next year. Whoever mentioned Kelsey in the top 10 needs to take a lap. Agreed, Josh. Thank you. Appreciate you dropping that 20 wad, you absolute monster. 26 votes to Lamb. Lamb gets it. We're calling it. Lamb Chops wins the vote. Let me go ahead and move Lamb Chops up to the 1.5 right here. And then we're going to go ahead and what do you win by? What vote? 42%. So he actually won by a bigger margin. So Gibbs still is not, he's not in the top 5, which is kind of shocking to me because he was about to win the 1.2 and 1.3 votes. So 42% for Lamb Chops, and that is the 1.5. So let me put this right here, and now we're going to vote on the 1.6, which I think we could add. Somebody wanted to add A.J. Brown, and do we add Rachaad White to this one? Or are we getting it too complicated to where we're just diluting? I think Rachaad White's not quite at this level. He's at that turn. So I think like 11, 12, that's still awesome. I think right now, since these guys were all in consideration for like the 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, I think we stay with this. We'll put A.J. Brown in it. But I think just adding everybody that we love is not gonna be good for the vote. So 1.6. And we're gonna take out Lamb Chops, who won that one, and we're gonna put in AJ Brown. AJB. We'll keep Laporta in for good measure. We'll create the poll. Let me drop the link right now in the live chat. Here is the 1.6 vote. 1.6 vote. Here's the link. And then let me pin the link in the live chat. Okay, that link has been pinned. 1.6 vote is now up in the live chat. Go ahead and vote. And I gotta change the let me see. I'm gonna vote Gibbs. I don't mind telling you guys. I don't think I'm gonna sway it or anything. Okay, let me edit this real quick, and then now we have the new 1.6 vote on screen. So Chase 5. Wow. Chase jumps into it. Chase 5 votes. Gibbs 4. Amon-Ra 3. Gibbs almost won the 1.2. What in the hell's going on?
What about Diggs and Adams?
Adams is old, man. I couldn't take him anywhere near the top 10. But I love Adams at a value. Like Adams wasn't.
Jimmy G.
And Jimmy G. I think Diggs is also 31 years old next year. So we talked about him. He's capable of dropping off. Where does he go to? Do they trade him? Does he, where's he end up? Where's he end up in 2024? But I don't think we could put him this high because he's not even, like, right now no one would take him this high, let alone we're talking about a year later and he's going to be a year older. Gibbs number 1 right now. Chase number 1 right now. Flip-flopping here. 11 votes for Chase. Gibbs 10. We're going to call this one at 22 votes because, we're getting a little bit less engagement on the voting. We need that to stay high. If everybody could keep voting. Go to the polls. Vote. Do your part. Do your part. Vote on voting day, guys. Come on. Chase, AJ, B, Gibbs. All neck and neck and neck. Chase is going to win at 14 if we were to end it here, which I don't think is like crazy because he's that talented, but good God, man. I don't know about you guys. Let me go over to Mike from Jersey and ask him, and then you can ask me your question, Mike. So, Mike, you're live. We love Chase. We all love Chase. This is a Chase community. But are we at the point now where we're like, okay, he's like a 10, 11, 12 player where we're hitting a home run with Ja'Marr Chase at the turn, 12, 13 turn, 10 pick. I mean, we love that. That pick is fantastic. That is super low risk, high reward. But are we at the point now where we're not taking Chase at like 1.3, 1.4, 1.5 when he continuously has something that comes up? There's always something. There's always something. He's either injured. Joe Burrow's got to stay healthy. Like, I mean, I'm not saying it won't all come together, but I think I'm just more comfortable. I'm not fading him. I'm just more comfortable with him at the like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm not going like 5, 4 overall.
I mean, I get it. I just don't want it to be that year where he explodes and finishes as the wide receiver one, because like he's still capable of that. I know. Unless you're assuming he's gonna come into next year hurt, or Joe Burrow's gonna come into the next year hurt. I don't understand why people are panicking on Ja'Marr Chase. Like, I would still take him. Like, just me. My fantasy philosophy, I don't predict injuries. I try not to, because like, that's just my thing.
Yeah, but we predicted injuries. We predicted injuries pretty damn good on this show. There's a lot of injuries that hit everybody, but like there were a lot of injury predictions that like the Eckler, because he was 28 years old. Cooper Kupp, 30 years old.
Yeah. Unless you're old. Yeah, I get
JT.
That, Joe Burrow and Ja'Marr aren't old. They're not old. They're young.
Right. But
next year can be Ja'Marr Chase's best year of his career.
So predicting
next year can. You know?
So predicting injury with younger players, you're saying you don't like to play that game. I'm just saying you can predict injuries with older players pretty well. Like there is a nice rule of thumb.
Yeah, exactly. Like the 28-year-old rule. Like I follow that. I follow the wide receiver like 29, 30-year-old rule. Like I follow that. But I'm saying, like, if you're in, like, Joe Burrow and Ja'Marr Chase are in their prime, so I always go off of, okay, if you're in your prime, you can have the best season of your career the next year, and I wouldn't want to miss out on that.
And I'm not saying,
I wouldn't let him.
And I'm in no way, shape, or form saying I'm fading Ja'Marr Chase. I'm just saying, like, right here, it's Gibbs to me. And if we have Gibbs, we have Lamb, we have Kyren, we have JJ, we have Hill, we have McCaffrey. I'm feeling pretty good about that. The chat's doing a good job. I have Kyren higher, but that's fine. Like I have Kyren at 2 or 3, to be honest. But Gibbs at 2 or 3, I feel. But this is all really, really good. I just think I think Ja'Marr Chase, after we get through Gibbs, then I'm on board. Like we'll call it 1.7, 1.8, 1.9. I think that's really good. But could I put Ja'Marr Chase above JJ or Hill or McCaffrey or Kyren or even Lamb? Probably not right now. Not right now. But right after that, sure.
Yeah, right after that. I just could see him blowing up and everybody being like, "Oh my goodness! Like, how do we miss it? Like, it's right."
Well, we won't miss it. We're just, we're not gonna miss it. We're just, I'm not gonna force it.
People are playing it safe.
Yeah, and I think that's good.
I get it.
I want my Ja'Marr Chase at 7, 8, 9. I think that's great. I think that packages and all the risk I'm worried about. And then I want Bijan to potentially go in the 3rd round, because then I will jump on board that trade again. Absolutely. Okay, what can I help you with, Mike?
Yeah, so I have about 8 players that are just all close in value, and I need just start sit advice. I'm just gonna read the names to you and see what you think. It's start 2 running backs, start 2 wide receivers, and 2 flexes. I got David Montgomery, Amari Cooper, Chris Olave, Saquon, Puka, CeeDee Lamb, Achane, and Gibbs. 2 of those guys have to sit.
Okay. Well, I mean, very, very easy to say that Achane, Gibbs, Lamb, Puka. Who did you say? The Saquon, right? Okay, so 2 of them. I'm starting probably.
So now the last, it's Saquon, Olave, Amari Cooper, and David Montgomery. The last 4.
I'd probably sit. I'm definitely sitting Amari Cooper. I'd probably sit Saquon or Monty. It's not between anybody else. If let's say Achane was questionable, then you'd have a different situation going on. But Olave is going to go, so you start Olave. Monty and Saquon. Saquon's tough to trust right now, bro. And that Philadelphia, that Philadelphia.
You're saying bench Monty and Amari Cooper?
Well, no, I'm saying it's between bench. Cooper's benched already. It's between sitting Monty or sitting Saquon. Now, Philly's going to try and really prove a point and win this game and smash the Giants into little itty-bitty pieces. Now, this is the NFL. Anything can happen, bro. The Giants could get a kickoff return to open the game and things could get out of hand, and Jalen Hurts could get hurt. And so anything can happen. Yeah. But I envision the Giants trying to throw their way back in, and I think maybe Saquon's running abilities get a little diluted, or his opportunities. And I just think that Monty and Gibbs gives you that real safe, no matter what happens, you won't feel screwed. But between those 2, you'll probably get a lot of. There's a tough matchup, but like the Atlanta Falcons, I don't know, man. I know the numbers say that they're great, but I think it depends on their matchup. I think the Lions match up well against them. They got so many weapons that you're going to see some running happen. Not to mention, Monty could get 2 1-yard line rushing touchdowns and 40 yards, and Gibbs could get 7 receptions and 90 yards and a touch. It doesn't have to come on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, so, since you said Puka, so at QB, it's either I'd play Justin Fields against Arizona, which I want to do that, but I have Stafford with Puka. So I feel like if I'm going to play Puka, I might as well go all in and play Stafford. But I really want to play Justin Fields. I feel like he...
Hey, trust your gut. There's no reason you should feel like you have to play both of them together. It's not. That's not going to necessarily help you score more points, man. It's not best ball. This is regular redraft. You're in a way, you're even hedging your bets a little bit, to go Fields and Puka. I'm not Fields could still outscore Matthew Stafford if Puka has 100 yards and a touchdown. You know what I mean?
True.
So diversifying isn't bad. All right, hey Mike, I got to run. Appreciate you.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, and then Swaggy. What in the hell are you saying, Swaggy? God, Swaggy. Let's say I was in a coma. If I was in a coma and I needed somebody to make decisions for me, I'm on the clock. It's the 3rd round. Don't let Swaggy anywhere near my team. Swaggy, if let's say I'm in a coma, I'm on a live stream, I've got tubes in my mouth, and I'm in a coma, and you guys are watching me live. Because my daughter says, let's turn this bad boy on. We need the income. I'm sitting there in a coma, and I'm on the clock in August, and you guys take a poll over who to draft for me at 3.2. Let's just say this scenario. I want Swaggy removed from the vote because this man and I see eye to eye 0%. I'm just saying, Swaggy. No offense. I still love you, pal. But good God, son. I'm not touching Gibbs in the 1st round if Monty stays in Detroit. Are you out of your mind? LOL. Swaggy says, you guys are delusional as always. Swaggy, welcome to planet Uranus, pal.
And off he goes
Swaggy's
to
going
the planet
swimming with the
known as
fishes.
Uranus.
You're here. Look at this one. Gibbs is cooked, says Okafor. All right, Jamar Chase won the vote. It's getting closer. Actually, you know what? 20 to 18. Can we get everybody to push it to 25 votes, please? Can everybody just muster up some strength and go to the polls and vote, for goodness sake? Do your part. Make a change. Okay? Go to the voting poll. It's in the live chat pinned. Jamar Chase says 20, Gibbs says 18. Do your job. Vote for your leader. Don't let somebody else decide who the 1.6 is. You have it within your control. I want Swaggy nowhere near my teams. Like, it'd be one thing if somebody said like if Swaggy wasn't like, you're delusional, you guys out of your minds collectively as a group. It'd be one thing if like that was your take was like, I think I just keep liking other guys better, and somehow he fell to my 14 overall. Am I crazy? No, Swaggy, I don't agree with you, but that's not crazy. I understand it, but Swaggy doesn't even compute or get how we like Jahmyr Gibbs as a first rounder. He almost won the 1.2 and 1.3 vote. I'm a little confused why he's sitting. Oh, there he is, 22 votes. Gibbs took the lead.
I have to correct you, Smitty.
Gibbs took the lead.
I have to correct you.
What, Ron?
You said that you and Swaggy 100% always disagree. You both agree on Buffalo, so that's not true.
He's just copying something, so he doesn't. So it's not all. He doesn't want to like. He's afraid of getting like booted or something. So he's like, okay, every 8th thing I'm going to agree with Smitty.
Well,
what Swaggy will do.
That's why you guys agree.
Yeah, what Swaggy will do is at the end of the live stream, after he tries to rile everybody up, he goes, "Smitty's a goat." Right at the end when we're leaving, just kind of drop a Smitty to the moon. Just so if for any reason he thinks and Swaggy, it's okay to disagree. You're not being super disrespectful. You say delusional, but we know this is just how you speak. You speak to us all the time. But I mean, good God. You're always going to speak your mind.
Say you always speak your mind, but you got to have a mind first to speak it.
Oh, Ron taking shots fired. Gibbs wins the vote. 25. Gibbs. Man, I almost called that too. I almost called that at 22 to 20, and Gibbs came back and won the vote. There you go, Swaggy. Hey, Swaggy, how you like that? But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs' workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6 to 10. Yeah, buddies. Gibbs getting the 1.5 vote. Let's put that right here. Gibbs, congratulations on being, or 1.6. Congratulations for being the one. What? Rigged?
Rigged.
Maybe a little bit of influence, potentially. He got 30% of the vote. I mean, he got 26 votes, 30% of the vote. All right, we're running short on time here because I gotta go do some dinner, and then so Ron, I'm gonna let you go. I gotta do some dinner, and then maybe we'll pick this up on the next live stream. But we're gonna be drafting tonight on Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty if I can get back in time, and we'll be doing it live. Smitty, Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. The link is right here in the live chat. I'll drop it right here. I'll pin that link in the live chat. The link's in the description of every video. The link, in case you're watching a replay, the link is in the live chat pinned right now. And sign up now so that you don't miss out on trying to get in and scrambling to sign up at the time. Do it now. They'll double your first deposit up to $100, and we'll probably draft tonight. Ron, anything else before I jump?
You going to do weeklies, or you going to do a mitten, or you going to do a combination?
Not sure yet.
Maybe a combination would be cool.
Yeah.
Because the mittens are, I think, filling up pretty quick.
Yeah, I like the mittens, so we'll probably have to try and do that. All right. See you later, Ron.
All right, have a good one.
I'm going to do breakfast on the grill. I'm going to do breakfast on the grill. I'll put it on my IG.
Oh, nice. Nice. There you go.
All right, later.
Later.
Okay, let's get to these super chats real quickly, and then I've got to jump out of here. Josh with the $20 hauler. Smitty, what's the record for the highest super chat? If I win this week and make it to 3 championships, I'm looking to break that record. Well, I hate to break it to you. It's pretty high. So you want to break it, I'm all for it. The highest super chat in a single live stream is 765. The biggest super chat of 2023 is $600. So there's 2 records, really. You could be the biggest super chat, close out the year as the highest super chat of the year at 601. Most gifted memberships was like $250, I think, by TMT and Double D. Actually, that might have changed too, because Wheel Snipe Selly came in and dropped massive loads all over the screen. But we'll be, whatever you can do is fine with me, Josh. I appreciate you regardless. $100 haulers definitely get.
He is a unicorn.
$100 haulers get on the unicorn board. There's a lot of room for that, but appreciate you, Josh. Thank you for dropping the super chat. B Hall, James Cook, Kyron, and Gibbs. B Hall, James Cook, Kyron, and Gibbs. Which one are you sitting? I mean, that's easy, bro. That's easy. B Hall. I hate sitting Breece Hall, but like you sitting James Cook after last week, I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. You sitting Kyron after last week? I don't think so. You sitting Gibbs after last week? I do not think so. Breece Hall didn't do anything. Anything's possible, but this is probably the easiest question I've had all day long. Let's see here. Thank you very much for that super chat. B Hall definitely has got to sit the pine. Henry or Kincaid. I'm going to go Hunter Henry for now, and then Mullins, Heineke, DeVito. Probably Mullins, I suppose. But good God, I mean those are awful. Tua or Dak. I'm going to go Dak, given the matchup. And Higgins or Nakua. I'm going Nakua without any sort of hesitation at all. Those are tough calls. Make sure you trust your gut. But Sup Brother start 3. ETM, Mostert, Achane, Chuba, Swift, Nico, Pacheco, Zeke. Okay, Nico's out. Zeke I'm not considering. Chuba I like, but I'm not considering here. It's ETN, it's Mostert, and for me it's probably Achane. If Achane's banged up at all, Pacheco's a fine swap. Or Swift. But Mostert, ETN, and Achane for me. You could sit one of the Miami backs, but which one are you going to sit? You can't sit Mostert because he's on fire. But you also have Achane, who's got the highest scoring fantasy football running back game this season. Number 1. Full PPR, need 1 wide receiver and a flex. Probably going to go with London and JSN. Pickens has not earned it in my mind. The guy does not try when he's on the field, and I can't start someone like that right now. And he breaks my heart, but it is what it is. Need 2 running backs. Got Bijan, Chuba, Zeke, Singletary. Singletary's got to be in there. I probably roll the dice with Bijan and Singletary. I know it's so hard, but like at the same time, bro. Can also drop for Ty Chandler. Ty Chandler and Singletary are the safest 2 players, bro. And you probably drop Zeke. That's easy. That's an easy call. I'll see you all tonight. Appreciate every single one of your super chats. Thank you to my $20 haulers. Josh Daniels dropping fire. Josh Daniels dropping 2 $20 super chats. Perps dropping multiple $20 super chats. Lego Batman, Ron Navy, and G Money dropping super chats. Ron Navy dropped 2 $20 super chats as well. Appreciate every single one of you. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Romario. Thank you, Edgar. Thank you, Jaime. Thank you, James. Thank you, Perps again. Thank you, Ron Navy, and Fernando with other super chats. Thank you, Who Cares. Thank you, Rise Above. Thank you, Joe Salters. Thank you, That Boy, Gravy, Just Sherman. Thank you for all the super chats. You guys are absolute straight monsters. Appreciate you. Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every Monday through Friday. Thank you for voting on all this, and then we'll probably be back for some live drafting. Underdog Fantasy link is pinned in the live chat. Links in the description of the video. Code Smitty's inserted for you when you click those links, or you just enter code Smitty. They'll double your first deposit up to $100. And make sure you click it now. Do it live so you're all set up and ready to go for tonight, so you're not scrambling.
Got him.
He's Kyron, he's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyron, he can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
Devon A-Chan, please report to your shuttle to Saturn. Your shuttle is leaving. Prepare for departure.
Alvin Kamara, a menace on the field and in casino elevators everywhere.
Run.
Don't forget to Kamara that like button.